this ever happened to you? You screen print your design and then as it starts to dry, it looks dull. Hey, it's Jennifer with Pigskins and Pigtails. Here on my channel, I teach beginners how to get started screen printing. My method involves using a vinyl cutter, which makes the setup process very quick. And to make the cleanup just as easy, I like using water-based inks like Speedball. These inks are easy to clean off your screen, table, or floor with just water. I also love how they soak into the fabric, leaving a nice soft print. Because these inks soak into the fabric, one of the challenges you may run into when screen printing on dark fabrics is that the ink starts to look dull or washed out as it dries. There are two ways you can avoid this and get bright, bold colors on dark fabrics. I'm going to explain two methods, so let's get started. The first method, and the one you may hear screen printers talking about, is screen printing an underbase coat. An underbase is essentially a layer of white or light colored ink printed on the fabric before applying the actual design colors. This base acts like a primer, ensuring that the colors on top appear bright and consistent. So let's take a look at how screen printing a white underbase creates a solid, opaque background for the colors to sit on, allowing them to appear as bright as you had envisioned. I have cut 4 pieces of vinyl here. One is the complete design that I'm going to use as the underbase, and then I've separated out the 3 colors I'll be layering on top. To give myself a little wiggle room when it comes to lining these colors up on top of the underbase, I've added a little offset to these 3 pieces. For instructions on how to set up your design and cut it on a Cricut, Caesar, or other brand cutting machine with an offset, check out my screen printing press course. In this course, I go into more details on this project, walking you through how to set up and cut the file. I'll link to it below, and once you register for the course, you'll have immediate access to this lesson along with all the others. I'm going to attach the vinyl to my screen for the underbase coat first. This is the one without the offset. Now we can grab our white ink. I'm using Speedball regular white as my underbase. It's important to choose a high opacity white water-based ink for the underbase. This is going to ensure the colors on top really stand out. With our entire design printed in white, we now have a good base coat. Next, you need to dry this ink, so I'm going to use my heat gun. It's important that it's dry so that your colors don't mix with the white, and also that your white ink doesn't stick to the back of your screen printing frame during the next steps and pull off your vinyl. Now we can line up the vinyl for our first color on top of the white. I've got red ink on my screen and squeegee that over the design. Lift your screen and you can already see how much brighter this is. Before lining up the next color, you want to use your heat gun again to dry the red ink. You can repeat this process for all of your colors. I'm using my Pigskins and Pigtails press for this process, which means that after I have these screens lined up once, I'll be able to swap out the screens to print more shirts, starting with the white, then swapping out for the red, yellow, and blue screens. It's really helpful to have a multicolor press for this process because your screens are all set up and it's easy to print one shirt after another. While using an underbase is a tried and true method for screen printers, lining up your design like this can be tricky. But good news, I have found a solution that doesn't require an underbase at all. This is my go-to method for getting bright colors on dark fabrics. This is Speedball's Flex ink line. I've shared about the Flex ink in another video and talked about how it's designed to stretch with your fabric, but another huge benefit I've found is how vibrant the colors are, even when it comes to printing on dark fabrics. Let me show you what I mean. Because I don't need an underbase for this, it simplifies my design, and I'm actually going to print this with just 2 screens. First, I screen print my yellow. And here's the key. When you lift the screen, the ink is going to look good, but we can make it even better. By drying the ink for just a second and then adding another coat on top, you can get a really nice, vibrant color. I'm going to dry the yellow, and then here's another shortcut. I've put my red and blue pieces on the same screen. I've created a little divider with some painter's tape. I don't want these colors to mix, but I can be careful and screen print both colors at once. I'll do the same thing again, drying the ink, and then adding another coat on top. And here's what the Flex ink looks like without using an underbase. You get nice, vibrant colors with a much more streamlined process. if using Flex ink sounds like the method for you, I have an ink recipe guide that will show you how to mix 42 new colors using Speedball Flex inks. This will give you tons of color options for printing on your dark fabrics. When you compare the Underbase method and Flex ink, the results are both bright and vibrant. While the Flex ink method is faster, there are still times you might need to use an Underbase. If you are printing with Speedball Glow inks, these work so much better on dark fabrics when you use an Underbase. The top print here is without an Underbase, and the bottom print is using an Underbase. You can see how much better it shows up using a white Underbase underneath the Glow ink. Both of these methods are made possible by using a screen printing press. For more information about my Pigskins and Pigtails press, visit the link below. Next time you want to print on a dark color fabric, remember these two options. Whether you use an Underbase coat of white ink or use Speedball's Flex ink, either of these options will give you bright, professional quality prints. If you found this information helpful, be sure to subscribe to my channel for more screen printing tips and tricks. If you'd like to see how white ink looks on dark fabrics, watch this next video where I compare different types of white inks on dark fabric.